Hi, my bright little babies. Welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. Book Reviews. Book Reviews. Boob Shimmy. Hi. Welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. I can't speak today because I'm an idiot. Did you hear Freckles sneeze? Rude. Yeah, I can't talk today because I'm an idiot. I'm flustered, as usual. Anyway, hi, welcome back to another episode. Thank you for joining me. My name is Candace. I'm your host. The situation that you currently see around my eyeballs in the mirror looked fine. On camera, looks like how you say hooker. Right? Yes, so but we're just gonna roll with it because it's too late to change it now and I don't care. So hi, thank you for joining me. I said that twice already, but I really appreciate it and I mean it, so I'm gonna say it again. In today's video, I scared him. You're welcome. You deserve that. In today's video, I just finished this book yesterday, day before yesterday, and I'm sitting down to film the review. Who am I? Candace, have you been body snatched? Because this is not you. You don't film reviews a day after you finish reading the book. You film reviews 3 weeks after you finish reading the book when you've completely forgotten the plot. To be fair, I've already completely forgotten the plot. So, you're gonna get the same review anyway. But I did just finish the book and I'm already recording for the review. So, am I an alien? I'm not saying I'm an alien, but I'm an alien. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing a book that is literally the talk of Bookstagram right now. This book is book 1 in a series. So far, 2 books have been released in this series, but for some reason, they're just now gaining like traction, I guess. So book 1 is like really, really popular right now. And people are binging book 1 to get to book 2, which was literally just released a few days ago. So I'm gonna stop leaving you in suspense. In today's video, I've already purchased the trade paperback because I did enjoy the book so much. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing book 1 in Sara Cate's Salacious Players Club series. And the book is called Praise. I'm not gonna do that. Should I? Should I do it? Should I do it? Okay, so, usually I do that after I read the blurb, but I felt like he needed a little something extra, a little something extra. So first of all, let's appreciate the cover. There's something to be said for covers. There's something to be said for covers that feature just like a good scruffy looking man, like tousled hair, beard, like scruffy beard, not like full blown, like I'm not talking Duck Dynasty beard. I'm talking like just good scruff. You know what I mean? And he's got it. Like he's got it. I don't know why he's looking at me like, he just has that look of like, bitch, please. Right? Doesn't he? Anyway, So this book is super popular right now. This book is also considered super taboo and delves not super heavily, but does dip a good big, I would say like the big toe of your foot. not your pinky toe, not your middle toe, if that has an official name, but your big toe into the pool of the BDSM lifestyle. Okay? So, the book is called Praise, which at first glance would appear to be maybe like a priest trope type book. No, boo-boo. This book is about some kinkery stuff, right? Okay, so I'm gonna give you the deets of the book, and then we'll do the blurb, and then we'll break it down, because woof, I've been doing that all day. When I put on my eyeshadow, I expected it to be red. It turned out to be like a pinky purple color, but it was so bright that I was just like, woof. And my daughter behind me was like, woof. So I guess we're woofing today. So this book, as well as the second book in the series that just came out, are both free to read with Kindle Unlimited. I'm not going to tell you what Kindle Unlimited is. I tell it in every video. This is going to be clickbait to get you to go watch another video. Go watch another video if you want to find out what KU is. Okay? If you want to purchase this book for your Kindle, you can buy it for the price of $4.99 right now. If you want this hunk of burnin' love, I don't know why I reference Elvis, you trade paperback, which Amazon, God, Jeff Bezos is literally the bane of my existence. Every single time I order a trade paperback from Amazon, without fail, something is wrong with the book. It's never the author's fault. I never, ever blame the author. I blame the shipping department and the printing department at Amazon. Okay. The cover of this one looks fine, right? The back cover looks fine, right? At first glance, the spine looks fine, right? Until you look closely at the top of the spine, where you can see that it's literally been compacted upon itself when printing. You can't see it as well as I can, but it looks like it's wrinkled on the top, and it looks like a 95-year-old man's ball sack. Like, that's how wrinkly it is. And no amount of me trying to smooth it will help, obviously, because it's glued on that way. So I just have to eat it or try and return it. But will the replacement be any better? Who knows? Because I've done that before in the past too. I've replaced a book and gotten one in equal or worse condition than the first one was. You know why? Because they send them out they either print them badly, like this one. Every single one comes with a bad spine, by the way. Almost every book without fail has something wrong with the spine, like this at the top. Or they will send them in an unpadded brown paper bag or an unbubble wrapped big giant box that's literally 400 times the size of the book. You didn't put it in a box that's the size of the book or slightly larger than the book. You put it in a box that's meant to fit an IKEA dresser and then you put no bubble wrap in there. So it's in the back of a truck, being moved on and off the truck, and it's just doing this move inside the box. Pow, 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 pow. Okay. You trying to tell me that you thought that was a good idea when you packed it up? You trying to tell me in the Amazon warehouse there wasn't a better box to fit this tiny ass book? Lies. Okay. Anyway, end rant. If you want this trade paperback that I was holding till I just threw it down in my rage, it's $14.99. Okay. This book is also available in audio. I listened to some of the audio. It's actually pretty well done. So if you want the audio, go for it. If you got that shmoney, go for it. Allegedly, here we go. Picking up the book again. Because you know I gotta do it every time. Okay. Allegedly, this book has 362 pages according to Amazon. I received 356. So there's a discrepancy of, what's that, 6 pages? That's not terrible. I guess I'll let you pass on that Amazon 6 pages. I don't like it, but I'll let you pass, I guess. Anyway. Okay. So, there are a few, I wouldn't call them trigger warnings that go along with this book, but, this is considered a taboo romance. This is considered age gap, because there definitely is an age gap. This is considered like BDSM style, etc., kinkery stuff, right? So I'm gonna read you guys the blurb, and then we'll get into it. 16 minutes in. Okay, so at the top you can see there's 3 little taglines here, and this little thing at the bottom. Okay, he calls me perfect, his flawless pet, his good girl. Which I've noticed a lot of women on Bookstagram, something about that line just immediately makes y'all implode. I don't particularly see what the big deal is, but for some of y'all can hear a dude go, good girl. And it's like immediate gasm. And I can't help but laugh. Because it's hilarious to watch. You guys just lose your shit over some dude calling you a good girl. I'm not kink shaming or anything in any way. So don't think that I am. But I'm just interested in why that sets off that reaction in some of you guys. Because I mean, I guess considering, just depending on who it was coming from, it could be hot. And then obviously in what scenario, but okay. Broken down and wounded by my emotionally neglectful ex, I wanted someone to tell me I was good enough. Then I stumbled into a new job with a boss who brings me to my knees, literally. He has me do things a real secretary would never do. Emerson Grant tells me I'm more than just good enough. I'm worthy of his praise. There are a million reasons why I should stay away. The owner of the Salacious Players Club is not just my new boss. He's twice my age and my ex-boyfriend's father. With him, I am treasured. I am adored. I'm his. I'm a good girl, but I'm falling for the wrong man. Emerson Grant knows what he wants, and he wants me. So how far will I go to hear his approval? Okay. Okay, so the second book in the series, I believe, is called Eyes on Me, which is like another taboo romance, which involves step sibling relationship, which I'm all for that. Like, whew, again, woof. So, the two main characters for this book are Emerson and this is something I had to literally force my way past. The main female character's name, her full name, is Charlotte, which is, for you guys who aren't aware, is my daughter's name. A lot of people in the book call her Charlie, which is much better because nobody in my family calls her Charlie. So, good. And I had to literally, in my reading journal, when I usually write down the two main characters' names, because I make lists of their characteristics underneath their names as I read the book, I wrote her name down as Charlie deliberately and not Charlotte, because I just couldn't look at it as Charlotte. So, the two main characters for this book are Emerson and Charlotte. Who should we begin with first? Emerson is the CEO of the Salacious Players Club. Him and his three friends, Hunter, Garrett, and Maggie, all started the Salacious Players Club together because they wanted there to be a place where people could go to feel free to enjoy themselves and their individual proclivities, free of judgment and free of society's constraints on the way they feel about those particular kinks and things. So Emerson is the CEO. If I'm not mistaken, I don't really remember what the others do. Garrett, I think, is responsible for like recruiting the talent, like the girls that come into the club for the entertainment and things. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what he does. I don't remember what Hunter or Maggie do. Whoops. But then again, are you surprised that I don't remember something? So, prior to them starting this club, all of them had jobs working in some capacity in the entertainment industry. So they have some knowledge on like how to entertain people, how to please people. So starting this club, they know how to put on events. They know how to set up special shows and things like that to keep members entertained. This is a private club. It's membership only. It's not advertised. It's not talked about. Everybody that comes in signs an NDA. You're not supposed to discuss anything that happens at the Salacious Players Club. It's very hush-hush. So Emerson has a son. His name is Bo. And that's spelled not like Bo, like B-O. It's spelled like B-E-A-U, Bo. They're estranged right now. Bo is not speaking to him because what Bo thought was initially his dad's job of running a dating website eventually turned into opening this club. And Bo found out about this club and now sees his dad as some kind of skeevy freak and refuses to see him or speak to him. Bo is, I want to say like 19, 20 maybe. So he hasn't talked to his father in 6 months, a year, something like that. Emerson wants a relationship with Bo. He's constantly trying to connect with him, calling him, leaving him messages, texting him. Bo wants nothing to do with him. So insert Charlotte. Charlotte is Bo's girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend. They have just broken up, and she wants her half of the security deposit for their apartment that they're moving out of. Well, unfortunately, according to the landlord, Bo's father co-signed for the apartment, and so the security deposit check was mailed to him instead of given back to Bo and Charlotte. Bo refuses to go ask his father for the money. No, fuck that, I'm not speaking to him. You want the money, you go get it. Here's his address. He scribbles down the address, rips it off on a piece of paper, gives it to Charlotte, and says, go get it yourself. Bo's a dick. Okay? I want to state that for the record from the jump. Bo is an asshole. He's an immature prick. Okay. I've gotten that out of the way. She needs the money. So she goes to the address where it's listed, and it's like this super rich, ritzy part of town. And she walks in, keeping in mind that Emerson, one of the reasons that he started Salacious Players Club is because he himself has his own kink that he needs an outlet for. And he enjoys like the praise. I don't want to say praise and degradation because there's no degradation involved. He enjoys praising women. He wants a woman to kneel at his feet, and he wants to praise her. So he had a secretary recently who was not up to snuff. She did a few things he did not like, and he got rid of her. So he talks to Garrett, and he tells Garrett, no, she had to go. I couldn't deal with her. And Garrett's like, you want me to send another girl? And he's like, no, I need a break. I'm just gonna take a break, maybe later, maybe in a few days or something. And Garrett's like, okay, fine. So when Charlotte shows up at his office, which P.S., his office is in his home. He works from home when he's not at the club. When Charlotte shows up at his office, he's not expecting anyone. And neither is like the person, his housekeeper or whoever who opens the door. So she's waiting in his office when he walks in. She's been shown in by somebody and is waiting for him. He assumes that Garrett sent her. And she doesn't know what to make of him. She just sees a very attractive older gentleman who must be Bo's father. And he's just walked into the office and seen her, and he tells her to get down on her knees. For some inexplicable reason, she does. I think inherently she has obviously some submissive part of her within herself wants to comply. And so she does. She gets down on her knees. And they have some like back and forth conversation. And it becomes very apparent very quickly that Garrett did not send her. And when he realizes who she is, and she snaps out of her lust-induced haze because she was immediately infatuated with this older guy, she's like, I'm just here to pick up a security deposit check. And he's like, what? And then he realizes, oh shit, you're my son's girlfriend. And he has a moment of sheer panic because he's just done some sexual stuff with his son's girlfriend, or what could be construed as inappropriate behavior, should I say, with his son's girlfriend. She informs him that they have broken up, that they're not together. However, he thinks that there is still something there that he can use to get to Bo through her. So obviously he writes her the check. And instead of it being for $1,000, which was her half of the deposit, he writes her a check for $5,000, which she doesn't see until after she's left. She works at a roller rink, like a skating rink. And later on, he shows up at her job and he offers her a job as his secretary. Partially because he is into her, obviously. But also because he thinks that he can use her in some capacity to get to Bo and to try and rebuild his relationship with Bo. Even though she has told him several times that her and Bo are not together anymore, that they are broken up, he still thinks that he can somehow use her to get to Bo. He offers her a ridiculous amount of money. She takes the job. She still works the roller rink, I think, on like the weekends or something like that. But Monday through Friday, she works for him. So she goes shopping and she buys a lot of provocative, tight pencil skirts and see-through blouses and things, professional yet hot, sexy type women's wear. And she starts her new job working as his secretary. While she's working as his like personal assistant, shortly after she starts, he takes her to the club that's currently under construction because it hasn't opened yet. It's currently being built. It hasn't had its grand opening. He takes her there, and a lot of the guys several of the guys are flirting with her. First, Garrett flirts with her a little bit, and then later on, this guy Drake, who is Hunter's best friend. Hunter is one of the original partners, one of the 4 best friends. Drake is also like the head contractor who's building the club. And he's a womanizing man-ho, for lack of a better term. So he flirts with her hardcore. And Emerson dislikes it immensely. You can tell he's already becoming like very proprietary when it comes to Charlotte. He does not take her back to the club after that until after it's opened. So over the course of her working for him, in the beginning, she starts to ask him questions. Like, she obviously knows what the club is about. He's very open about it. He tells her what the club is going to be for. And she asks him, because she knows what happened with their original encounter and what he thought she was there for. So she begins to ask him questions about his lifestyle and what he expects from a submissive, and what is involved with the whole praise thing. And he tells her, he answers her questions honestly, and she's becoming more and more intrigued and interested. And she's like beating around the bush of asking the question, do you wish that I would do these things for you like your other secretaries used to do? Because prior to her, all of his secretaries and PAs have doubled as his submissives. So they've worked for him, and then they've worked for him. If you know what I mean. So she's the only one who's legitimately just working for him. She's not putting in any time on her knees. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So she's asking him questions and he's answering her. He can tell she's interested in the topic at hand. So the night of the opening of the club, he takes her as his date. And she's dressed to the nines. She looks hot as fuck, right? They have a very hot, oh my God, a very hot sexual encounter. Not like sex, but somehow better than sex. It's steamy, y'all. Like, I was literally like, oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna say, at one point, he like puts his fingers in his mouth and sucks. And I was just like, fall to the floor. Okay, I had a moment of fainting spell. Okay, so yeah, after that, their whole dynamic changes. He comes into his office. I can't remember if it's the next day or a couple days later. He comes into his office to find her kneeling in a submissive position that she has researched, because after their encounter at the club, she has gone online and done extensive research on what's involved with his particular kink and what positions to take, what's usually acceptable, what's usually not acceptable, how she should behave, the things that she should say, what are her typical responses, everything. She's done her research. So he comes in and she's kneeling in the middle of his office floor. She tells him that she wants him to teach her how to be a good submissive. So they start a system where he trains her, kind of, on alternating days One day he tells her, I'll do this. He's very wary because he still knows that this is his son's ex-girlfriend. And if Bo finds out, he'll lose Bo forever. Or Bo will be pissed, right? So he's torn, obviously, because he's a good father and he wants a relationship with his son. But he's also dying inside because he wants her badly. So he tells her, I'll do this for you, but on some days, I want you to be just Charlotte, just Charlie. When she's in submissive mode, she's Charlotte. He refers to her as Charlotte. Everybody else calls her Charlie. So there are times when he'll call her Charlie, and it won't be normal. Like that's not their personal, intimate connection moment, right? So he says, I'll do this for you, but on some days, I want you just to be your regular self. And so they start a system of alternating days. One day, he'll train her and she'll be his sub. And then the next day, she'll be normal and just his regular secretary or his regular PA and just do work and act normal. So they start a system like that, and it goes well. And he's on conference calls with people while she's kneeling at his feet, like laying her head against his leg, getting praised. Nothing sexual happens in terms of like sex until much later. So they start that system, but the lines quickly begin to blur. One day, while they're there together, Bo shows up. They have to quickly pretend like nothing's going on. He shows up and tells Emerson that he's there for his half of the check. While he's there, because obviously he must have broken down because he needs that money. While he's there, he low-key tells Charlotte that he knows that he fucked up with their relationship and that he wants her back. So Emerson, for whatever reason, obviously because he done lost his damn mind, tries to force them back together by insisting that they go out to eat together, which hesitantly she does. And Bo doesn't have his own car. He deliberately didn't drive there. So she then has afterwards he kind of manipulates her into having dinner at her place. So the way that her house is set up is her mom and her sister, her younger sister, live in a house. And then there's like a guest cottage thing attached to the back where she lives. And it's kind of like a studio apartment type situation. So it's like on the property, but not actually the house. Honestly, Bo kind of manipulates her into going back to her place with like pizza to like hang out and talk and whatever. And she falls for it. And then after a while, she just takes him back home because she tells him this is not happening. Like, we're not getting back together. And he has no choice but to let her drop him off. And by this time, she's well and truly pissed off. So she should go back home, but she doesn't. She drives to Emerson's house. That's finally the breaking point where they finally have sex, because she tears into his house and they have it out. She tells him, he's like, where's Bo? And she's like, I took him home. And he's like, why? What happened? And she's like, I don't want him. I want you. And he's like, none of this can happen. I should have never hired you. We've already gone too farther than we should have. And she's like, he's like, you're my son's girlfriend. And she screeches at him and is like, ex-girlfriend. And finally he breaks. And he says, no one could know. You'd be like my dirty little secret, basically. We'd have to hide it from everyone. And she looks him in the eye and basically says, I'll take whatever I can get. And he attacks her. They go at each other hardcore. And that's the turning point when their relationship goes from just, oh, I'm training you to be a good submissive, to we're having sex, we're in a relationship, you're my submissive. And that shit was hot. So even though he says that they have to remain a secret and no one can know that they're together, later on he shows up at her sister's birthday party at the skating rink. And it's because he's called her on the weekends. It's like a Saturday or Sunday night, and she's working at the roller rink, but it's also her sister's birthday, so they're having a party at the rink for her sister. And he calls her and he's like, I need you. I need to see you. And she's like, I'm sorry, sir. I can't. I have obligations. I'm in the middle of something. And he's like, where are you? And she's like, I'm at the rink. It's my sister's birthday. And he's just like, oh, okay. And he hangs up. And then he just shows up there. And he gives her sister a card that has what she thinks is money inside, but it's not. It's tickets to like an anime fest that her sister freaks out about. And after that, he goes back to her house with her mom and sister for movie night. So he's saying their relationship needs to be a secret, but his actions are not matching his words, because he's also playing it really fast and loose with their relationship. And he's kind of inserting himself into her home life. And so at first she's like, what are you doing? And after a while, she becomes obviously more comfortable with it as she sees the reactions that she gets from her sister and her mom. After they go back to the house for movie night, the sister goes upstairs with her two friends that were spending the night for like a sleepover for her birthday. And the mother has like fallen asleep during the movie in like a recliner or something. So he's like, I want to see your room. Take me to your room, right? So she does. And in her room, he sees a picture of like the family. from many years ago, or several years ago. And in it, it shows like her and her parents, but it shows a little boy, and as he looks at it, he looks at her and he sees that the little boy in the picture is actually Sophie, her little sister. So obviously her sister was born as a boy and has transitioned into a girl. So she confirms that by telling him, and then explains that it's part of the reason why their father basically walked out on them. And a lot of that has to do with why she's feels as unworthy as she does, or like as unloved as she does. And maybe that lends to why she needs so much praise from him. So a few days later, they go back to the club. They're having an auction at the club, and several of the girls have had to pull out of the auction. They're short by several girls. He asks her to go up there and auction herself off. And she's like, what? No, what? She ends up doing it. But he's like, I would never let anyone get time with you. She takes it as you would let someone else spend time with me. You would pawn me off onto someone else. You'd let someone else touch me, or she sees it as very degrading. He tells her, I'm not going to let anyone else win you. I'm going to bid on you myself. Don't worry. No one else is going to get any time with you. This is purely for show, to make it appear as if we have the number of girls that we need. So she gets up there, and a bidding war ensues between him and another guy that she had previously seen in the club, and knows has the same proclivity that Emerson has. So he wants her bad. And the bidding goes up to like $50,000. It's a ridiculous amount of money. Emerson ends up winning, thank God. But Emerson's whole reason for putting her in the auction to begin with had nothing to do with needing another girl. Sure, that helped, but his real reason for putting her up there was because he wanted to show her, he wanted to reinforce her self-worth. He wanted to show her that she was worthy, that she is worthy of praise, that she is worth something. Because after the bidding war, she should know that obviously you have value. And after that happens, he expects her to feel better about herself. He's trying to boost her confidence. And it still doesn't, it makes a small dent, but it still doesn't work out very well. So by this time, it's obvious that they're both starting to develop heavy feelings for each other. Emerson is in his office one day, and Garrett comes in, and he basically says, I know about Charlotte and who she is. And what have you been thinking, man? And Emerson's like, I don't know. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. And Garrett tells him that he thinks that he should keep her because he hasn't seen Emerson this happy in a really long time. And that he thinks that that's because of Charlotte. And he thinks that just tell Bo the truth, and it may cause a bigger rift, but he'll get over it, and he'll understand eventually. And that Emerson deserves to be happy, and he thinks that he should keep Charlotte. And that's not something that he was expecting him to say. Later on, Bo comes over again, and while he's there, he finds out about the two of them, that something is going on. And while Bo is freaking out, wanting to know what's happening, Emerson dismissively says, "It's nothing. Don't worry, it's nothing." And when Charlotte hears that, it's like a knife to the chest. And she kind of goes cold. And she gathers up her stuff and her purse and her keys and everything that she needs. And she starts to leave. And she just tries to walk out. Obviously, he tries to stop her. And Emerson, while Bo is still going, what the fuck is going on? What's happening? Or how long have you been fucking my dad? Blah, 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 blah. He's still screeching. Emerson is now trying to get in Charlotte's way, telling her, please don't leave. Just let me talk to you. Let me talk. No. She doesn't want to talk. She's leaving. So between the two of them, like getting in each other's faces, she manages to duck out. She gets in her car. She drives home. She gets into her little apartment, and she closes up the door, and she stays there for 2-3 weeks. And she mopes and cries and ignores phone calls and texts from him. And she won't speak to anyone or see anyone. And she just watches TV and eats ice cream and lives in her bed for several weeks until her sister comes in and basically says, get out of bed. This is enough. While that's happening, Bo goes back to Emerson now that he's cooled down a little bit, and he asks more questions, including the most important question, which is, do you love her? And Emerson tells him, yes, very much. And then Bo goes to Charlotte's house and tries to question her. And his questions to her are more on the accusatory side. And so she flips out on him and basically kicks his ass out. But during that conversation, he tells her that he asked his dad. He says to her, you know, he told me he loves you, right? And that's a revelation to her because she didn't know that. But she's tired of moping. So she decides, you know what? I have free membership at the club as his PA. He gave me free membership at the club. I'm tired of moping. I'm going to go to the club. So she gets dressed in a very small black dress, and she goes to the club. He is there at the club. While she's at the club, she runs into a woman by the name of Eden, who prior in the book we've met several times by now, because Eden has like a blog that Charlotte used to basically educate herself on the BDSM lifestyle when she first started getting into learning about his particular brand of kink. Eden is a member of the club, so she can tell that Charlotte is down in the dumps, and so she says, what better way to make him pay than to put on a little show with someone else? Have you ever been with a woman? And Charlotte's like, no, but I'll give it a shot. So they go into one of the voyeur rooms and they start making out. And by this time, he knows she's there. And he goes down and he sees her with Eden through one of the windows. And they're starting to garner an audience. And he throws a full-blown fit. And he goes barreling in there. And he basically kicks Eden out. And they have it out. Nothing really gets resolved. He tells her that he wants her back, but she tells him, I'm not going to make you choose between me and your son. But I'm also not going to be nothing anymore. And so she rejects him and she walks out. And he's left just feeling like shit. Later on, she's back home and her dad, who she hasn't seen in God knows how long, shows up banging on her door. She's like, what the fuck? She goes to answer the door. She steps outside and he's raging. Something about a colleague at his law firm saw her at a club auctioning herself, at a kink club, auctioning herself off to the highest bidder, selling herself basically. And where does she get off getting involved in shit like that? Blah, 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 blah. And he's just raging. He's causing a huge scene. And she's stunned. First of all, nobody in the club is supposed to be talking about anything that happens at the club. So whoever that member is fucked. By this time, he's garnered the attention of her mom and Sophie, who have both come out of the house, the main house. Her mom is trying to calm him down and intervene. Sophie is on the porch holding her phone. She immediately dials a number and goes back inside with the phone to her ear. While he's raging out and the mother is trying to shut him the fuck up, he's getting in Charlotte's face. A few minutes later, he gets pulled off by a big ass dude. Turns out to be Emerson. Sophie had called Emerson, who happened to be with Bo. And so Emerson and Bo together are now restraining her dad and basically telling him to calm the fuck down. And now her dad and Emerson are getting ready to get into it because her dad is now going, oh, this is the pervert who's corrupted my daughter. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So they have it out. And eventually the dad pipes down and leaves. Emerson and Bo end up leaving as well. Him and Bo later have a conversation where he tells Bo flat out that he won't stop seeing Charlotte, that he loves her, and that he loves Beau, but he's in love with Charlotte, and he can't just pretend like she's nothing, that she was nothing. And by this time, Beau has had time to think things through, and basically he says something to the effect of, you treat her better than I ever did when we were together, and she's happier than she was when we were together. I don't like it. It still kind of grosses me out, and I don't think I'll ever be able to look at you two together, at least not for a long time. But we can still chill, me and you. You know, I'm coming around on the idea of the club and all of that. So he does eventually grow up a little bit, which is good. Beau then goes to Charlotte and tells her basically the same thing, that he doesn't like it, but he'll live with it, with the two of them being together. She's now had time to think about everything, and how he came to defend her when her dad was there, and everything that he said to her. And now that Beau is no longer an issue, she wants to be with him. So she goes to his house, not in her secretary gear that she would normally wear, her secretary getup that she would normally wear when she would go as his submissive. She goes in her normal clothes as Charlie, because if he's going to accept her, he's going to accept her as herself, because that's who she is. She knocks on his door and he opens. And before anything is said, he just grabs her and like face plants his face onto her face. and follows a very hot sex scene before they can barely even get in the house. And then they exchange I love yous, and I missed you, and etc., etc. And the end. An hour and 20 minutes later. The end. Okay, so for the rating for the book, I gave it a solid 9. I thought it was very good. I thought it was well written. I like the author's writing style. I'm chomping at the bit to get to the second book, because the step sibling trope appeals to me on a spiritual level. So I got to get my teeth into that. This one, Jerry Springer final thoughts. Okay, so the praise, I don't even know if you would call it a kink, but I refer to it as that because I lack the knowledge to refer to it as anything else. So the praise kink specifically does not do anything for me in terms of getting me all tingly and stuff. It's not my kink. It's not my thing. However, that being said, the way that the scenes between the two characters were written was done well enough that it still sucked me in. And I found it very intense and very hot. So, I like the author's writing style. I will look into other stuff by this author. I I like the idea, or I like the fact that, I don't like the idea. I like the fact that, that she incorporated, a preteen trans individual into this book. I have heard some people say that they didn't think that area of the book or that particular topic was detailed enough or expounded upon enough, and that if you were going to put it in the book that it should have gotten more attention. I personally thought that it was fine. It was kind of like just there. You know what I mean? Like, they were background characters for me. They were more just background characters. I tend to focus mainly on the couple, and then subsequently on individuals that I think could potentially get their own books in the future. So outside of those individuals, my periph is very limited. I don't delve too deep into any other characters. So for me, the detail given to Sophie was enough. I could see how other people may think that it should have gotten more attention, but for me, I was fine with it. But I do appreciate the fact that it was there, that she incorporated a trans individual into her book. Other thoughts. Oh shit, I gotta go. But yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I really enjoyed the book. I would recommend it to other people. I think it's the start of what could potentially be an outstanding series. And that's saying something for somebody who typically does not like, but from somebody who typically finds the first book in every series to be the least exciting or their least favorite book. So if this book held my attention and sucked me in enough that I liked it, like I gave it a 9, then, I mean, could this be the one to break the curse of the first book streak? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it to other people. I would say, hey, listen, even though you may not think that you could be into this, the story itself you could definitely get into. And yeah, I think that's it. So I really appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. If you would like, you can follow me on social media. I do have a members only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter devoted to this channel. I will link them all in the description box below, and I'll put a little banner here on the screen for you guys to see. And I think that's it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Creepy. Bye. Bye, my little babies. Let's just begin, shall we? Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. My hair looks, let's just say, god awful terrible. Okay. What are we doing? All right. Hey, my bright little babies. Jesus. Okay. What am I doing? I don't even know anymore. I honestly don't even know anymore. The evolution of Candace and her hair and all the times that she fucks with her hair on camera. Oh my God. Jeez. Okay. I can't. Okay. Stop. Stop. You're freaking out. You're freaking out. Stop. Stop what you're doing. Okay. We're just gonna go. We're just gonna go because I can't be bothered anymore. Okay. Don't you fucking start with me, okay? Not today. Not today. Okay. I know it's not Christmas time. I don't know why I love that song so much. It's literally my favorite Christmas song is whatever it is, something of the bells. I love that fucking song. You done? Okay, cool. Okay. Gotta get out of here. I gotta leave. I gotta go pick up my husband. Okay. Did I forget anything? I know I fucked that all up. Oh, I forgot the thing about the palm reading. Fuck. I wanted to put that in. Damn it. Son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. Biscuits. And I'm shaking the thing. Biscuits. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? Jesus Christ. Okay. Jesus. Okay, gotta go. Gotta go.